there's not going to be a bigger movie than this, huh? Well, maybe eventually. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here, bringing you a film review of Avengers Endgame. Oh, we're finally here. My God, it was a year of just like, oh my God. Infinity War, the way that ended, I mean, it blew minds. I still remember me and my buddy just looked at each other like, are you fucking serious here? I mean, we knew there was going to be a two-parter, but it's just like, it was just crazy. Just to think that it ended on such a somber note. MCU movie ended on a somber note where everybody's, and he didn't know what the fuck. Like, how are they going to do this? But here we are. They're going to figure out how. And of course, there's theories out there. And I'm not going to say too much. This is a spoiler-free review. Look for my spoiler review over this weekend because I have a lot to say about this movie. So I'll just end it at that. We know what's going on. We know that to try to bring everybody back and defeat Thanos, and that's pretty much it. So what did I think of Avengers Endgame? Oh, it's so satisfying. Russo brothers have said this is their last Marvel movie that they'll be doing. And I can see that because I don't know where they can go from here. I honestly don't. I mean, I'm talking about with the other movies too. I know they're going to keep going. They'll keep doing stuff, but Jesus, I don't know how you go from here. This is, I don't know how you beat this, but hopefully they try and hopefully they succeed. And this movie, well, you know what? This movie starts off slowly. Really takes a slow burn, building up. Just builds it up. And that's not a bad thing. I'm actually glad for that. You know, these bigger-than-life characters, they're broken down. They're empty. They're like, Jesus Christ, we lost. People are gone. And, you know, it's just nice to see that. Nice to see them, you know, the actors acting. It's nice to see them doing that and not just, you know, turning to the camera and winking at the audience, but believe you me, that still comes. The second act kicks into gear, and wow, the fan service definitely begins. It definitely begins, and then, you know, just seeing, you know, aspects, you're like, oh my God. The final act can be rebranded as the fan service act. It really can. And fuck you! There's nothing wrong with fan service. I hate that there's a stigma on fan service. And depending on whatever fan base you're a part of, you'll clap for one, but if it's the other fan base, you'll be like, fuck you, it's fan service bullshit. Yeah, that final act is it's something else. It's huge, it's epic, it's cinematic. There are so many moving parts. So much to take in. I clapped, I cheered, and my eyes got watery. Yes, it did. I mean, it's crazy. It's just an orgy. It's an orgy. And I'm not sure there was enough lube. There's just so much going on and, you know, characters. And you want to see what's going on over here with these characters, but they're focusing over here. And it's just all over the place. You want to see more of this, maybe less of that. And it's just, wow. And then there's an ultimate wink to the audience in 2019. And I just kind of went... Okay. Which now leads me to the complaints, because no, as much as this movie is satisfying, and I cannot wait to see it again and again and again, I do have some complaints, because that's what I do. Hulk Banner did not annoy me like he did in Infinity War. That annoyance got shifted over to Thor. Not a big fan of what they did with Thor here, because, you know, when it came to Infinity War, I was actually glad that they kind of brought him back a little bit from Ragnarok, because you guys know how I feel about Ragnarok. But then they kind of went back, and it's just like, oh, man. And I was like, well, this is not all bad. He still has his good moments. I am pleased to say that Captain Marvel is, in fact, better in this movie than she was in her own movie. Limited screen time? A lot of her stuff is pretty predictable. I mean, it was just kind of like, okay, yeah, she's going to do that and she's going to do that. Okay, yeah, we kind of predicted, you know, a lot of people predicted, it's just like, whatever. Hopefully they continue this kind of Captain Marvel. The pacing suffers. Absolutely does. Because when it came to Infinity War, the pacing was very well done. I mean, once it starts and gets going, it does not let up until all of a sudden everybody's just blowing away to dust. And you're just like, you catch your breath and then you're short of breath. You're like, what the fuck? There's just so much to develop. They really go deep with these characters at times. Like I said, it starts slowly. And honestly, they could have they could have done an Infinity War trilogy, and I kind of wish they did because there's plenty here to work with. So many characters. Humor level, cringy at times, as always. Not as bad as other movies, but it was mainly the stuff with Thor that I was just like, eek, you know. But I mean, there were some really funny moments. I mean, Rocket. I mean, he was talking raccoon, and sometimes some of the shit that he does is just kind of, and says, it's just, if you gotta laugh out of me, I think he was probably the funniest character out of the whole thing. Then it gets all wrapped up in a nice little Marvel bow, which I tell you what, man, it's crazy to think that 11 years, 22 movies, that it's all led to here. I mean, even though there's been hiccups, there's definitely been hiccups along the way, and then, you know, shit that was foreshadowed or built up in previous movies doesn't all come to fruition. And I have more to say about that, specifically one that annoyed the fucking piss out of me. I mean, I went like, oh, what? Just upset me. It just sat, I was talking with somebody else, like, yeah, that was just because, and I'm going to talk about more of that in my spoiler review, so look forward to that. So there you go, guys. Am I going to put Avengers in... So there you go, guys. Am I going to put Avengers Endgame on there? Of course you guys know I'm going to put it on the fair wall of 2019. Get up there. It's so satisfying. I can't wait to see it again. And like I said, I mean, when it comes to other aspects, you can nitpick and rip this movie apart. You really can. And I'll talk about some of that. But I mean, I always hate it when people start nitpicking. It's always going to be DC fans. You're going to do it. Just like if we got the proper Justice League that we thought we were going to get that involved certain things, you know, the Marvel side would just nitpick the absolute shit out of that, and we would defend the absolute shit out of it. Don't you love how fandom works? There you go, guys. Look forward to my spoiler review. I'm going to post it this weekend for sure. Yeah, just look forward to it. I hope it'd be nice to see it again. Maybe I'll just wake up early and go watch it again. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts about it down below. What'd you think of the movie? Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to my channel. Visit filmjunkie.com for all my content. Follow me on all that social media stuff right there, including Patreon if you want to help the pirate ship. And the closet's right there for shirts and stickers. All right, guys? Wow. Talk to you later.